Joey Logano is your NASCAR Cup Series champion for the third time. And of course, when you have somebody who is not quite as popular as a Kyle Larson or a Ryan Blaney, you get the questions, oh, this is a paper champion, or this isn't real. He's not the real champion, blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of a murky ground. And and the saddest part is, I don't think NASCAR is actually, and once again, NASCAR is not quite pinpointing what fans mean by that. He wasn't the best driver all year. I think I think he might be the lowest average finishing champion we've ever had. But I don't fault Joey for that. It's the part. It's the part of the system. When you intentionally create these Game 7 moments, you manufacture these Game 7 moments, you're going to have that kind of outcome. And you try to make it so much like a stick and ball sport that it is no longer special. Now, as many may already know from watching my live streams, which I'm hoping to be able to get back to them soon. The internet situation isn't great for streaming, so I'll try to get back to that as soon as I can. I do miss doing it for you guys, but for now, this is gonna have to do. So, yes, Joey Logano is a three-time champion. He's a three-time legitimate champion because that is what the format dictates. That is what the format allows. Now, they are rumoring this article from Austin Konensky of Motorsports Wire. NASCAR may not have the same playoff format for the 2025 season and beyond. According to Sports Business Journal's Adam Stern, NASCAR will review its playoff format and will discuss changes possible as soon as 2025. Due to the short turnaround to the season, a more extensive overhaul may need to wait until 2026 if deemed necessary. Here's the thing. NASCAR already had the system that works. They already had it. The old style Winston Cup system works. And with the point formatting changes that came in 20 I think it was 2014 maybe. I could be wrong, but the 40 points for the winner and then 35, 34, 33, 1 point down each time. You have that with the normal cups with the old Winston style system. Perfect, chef's kiss. Because this point system is easy to understand. You have a storyline going week to week to week. What does Kyle Larson need to do to catch back up to Tyler Reddick? Or who does whatever have to do? You have that ongoing storyline each and every single week, like we see in Formula 1 with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. It is a great ongoing story. And yes, you are going to have seasons like we have seen with Max Verstappen in the last couple of years where he just goes out and dominates. It's going to happen. It's just the fact of racing. You're going to have one guy come in and absolutely dominate, and then on you go. But when you have those moments, such as Max versus Lewis in Abu Dhabi in 2021, whether you were on the side of the Silver Arrow or on the side of the Raging Red Bull, it is a memory that you will never, ever forget. Just like with Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart in 2011, I think it was. You have those moments that are absolutely unforgettable. But when you manufacture it each and every single year, it no longer matters. And that's the sad reality. And the way that this playoff format is as it sits right now, and I have seen it throughout the weeks in the round of 12, in the round of 16, and in the round, not quite as much in the round of 8, but definitely in the round of 12. And specifically, I noticed this at Bristol, and I mentioned this in my stream. You had the top 8 racing to not screw it up instead of racing to win. And that played a huge part into why that race, the night race at Bristol, was such a snooze fest. Because you had drivers racing to not screw it up as opposed to going for it all and winning. You haven't created a system where winning means everything with this system. It's situation pending, and yes, when we get to the elimination race, yes, it could be depending on the situation. But more times than not, in the round of 16 or the round of 12, you have the top drivers racing to not lose. And that is how you get that snooze fest. And on top of that, you have a system in place to where the driver who wins the first race of round 8, getting all the advantage in the world, having 2 extra weeks to prepare for a track that is so handling heavy, like Phoenix, to where they are guaranteed the championship. That is why I made the bet. And yes, I did bet on NASCAR for the first time. I bet on Joey Logano to win the championship. I bet on Joey Logano to win the race because that is the trend that we have seen over the last number of years, over and over and over again. Whoever wins round 1, whoever wins the first race in the round of 8 goes on to win the championship. It happens each and every single time, and it makes the races, 2 races after that, a nothing burger. It's only to see who is the other 3 that gets to lose to whoever won round 1 of in the round of 8. And it's sad because Homestead was a tremendous race. Martinsville was a good race. And then you ended off with Phoenix, which it turned out to be a good race. And Ryan Blaney, shout out to him. He raced his ass off. And he came oh so close, just by the slightest of margins. But again, Joey Logano had 2 weeks to prepare. Tyler Reddick had a full extra week to prepare. And came up short. Yeah, and Reddick was the slowest car by far. So, yeah, that extra week on top of that extra week makes all the difference. And we saw that. And again, I'm taking nothing away from Joey Logano. And he understands that. He understands the code breaker. Ryan Blaney, I think, gets it. William Byron gets it. Which that situation was that was a bigger black eye on NASCAR than what happened with MWR all those years ago. Which I'm going to get into that here in a second. But you have to question, and with Bell, he was he was around, but he never well, Bell was, if he was in that round of four, we were probably talking about a whole different situation because it was, and then Byron, as consistent as always, top five, just not quite able to seal the deal with a win, which is quite insane, quite frankly. But you have the system where winning means everything, which for most drivers you didn't have to do that. All you did was take away the week to week stories that you're able to tell, that you would be able to tell with a normal point system. You make the points matter. You make running consistent matters. And for the love of God, get rid of these stupid stages. Go to commercial, do the side by sides. I don't care. These stages make these races absolutely boring. The first two stages, not even worth my time watching. That's the reality of it. First two stages, not worth watching. Don't care. I'm going to go, and especially during the NFL, whoever's in charge of marketing for NASCAR needs to be fired. Why are you running races long after football games have started? You need to get America's attention before they shift over to the NFL. And yet, you're starting races at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Whoever came up with that clearly failed their marketing classes. And I don't know. But things definitely need to change with NASCAR. So, moving on to that whole deal with Martinsville last week with Christopher Bell, William Byron, the 23, the 1, Jesus, everybody understanding the situation. And NASCAR came down hard, but in my opinion, not hard enough. Now, I don't think Bubba Wallace was one to. I don't think. I think Bubba might have actually cut a tire. It didn't look like he just kind of slowed down. Now, did Christopher Bell ride the wall? Yes, he did. And that is why a couple years ago I said that was a cool move. NASCAR just says, just don't do it again. You don't need to make a rule for it, but don't do it again. And I don't know if Bell actually needed to ride the wall, but he did. And yes, that is against the rules. So, yes, that penalty should have gone through. NASCAR got that part right. However, you have to, with Ross Chastain and Austin Dillon. That looked murky as well, with the radio telling them what the situation is, and pretty much, and I think even Austin Dillon said in an interview in between, like, I'm not going to be the one to knock Chevy out. NASCAR had to have come down much harder. I don't remember the penalties for Bubba Wallace. I think those. I honestly think those were a little over the top because I don't think there was any shenanigans there. I think he legitimately blew a tire. But with Ross Chastain and Austin Dillon having and pretty much running block for William Byron, and William Byron is my guy. But I'm being real here. NASCAR should have came down much, much harder. And quite frankly, you should have penalized William Byron as well. And William Byron should have been out of the playoff four, which would have thrown, because that knocked Bell completely out. If I'm not, because I think that knocked Bell completely out of it with that penalty, which again warranted, correct. So that would have put. Wait, not as I wait for my computer to load. Let's see, Reddick, Bell. That would put Larson into the final four when Bell got the boot and Byron got the boot. So Larson would have been in. And Larson is a talented enough driver to change everything that happened there. Everything. So NASCAR should have came down much harder on Austin Dillon and Ross Chastain. You pretty much Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, your season's done. See you later. We'll see you at Daytona. You suspend drivers for damaging the integrity of NASCAR. And that's what happened last weekend in Martinsville. You suspend them. These $300,000 fines, whatever. It's money. What you do is you park the 1 and you park the 3 for Phoenix. You don't get a sub driver either. Those cars, they are parked. They are disqualified for the next race. That is how you handle that situation. You come down hard and you show no mercy. But then again, if you run a system like the Winston Cup style, or even the Chase style, I'd be okay with the Chase. You run those styles, and I'm okay with, as long as the schedule is very even as far as the 2 mile, mile and a half, short track road courses. Run that relative to what the schedule is. I'm okay with it. You have the 1 road course, 3 mile and a halves, 3 short tracks. You have 1 road course, 4 mile and a halves, 4 short tracks, and a 2 miler. I think that might be 9. And then you have the championship race be at Homestead. Or you have the final race be at Homestead, Martinsville, Bristol, somewhere good. Phoenix, no. But anyway, I think that's enough rambling on motorsports. So please make sure, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Patriot Dylan. I'm Patriot Dylan. See you later.